Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doom Tomb podcast. My name is Chris. I'll be your host. I hope you all had a healthy, happy holiday season, and we look forward to big things in 2018. And this is a great way to start it off. I have an interview here with Great Electric Quest. If you haven't seen them live, I highly suggest you do so. They're a high-energy band based out of California, and you will have such a fun time. They just take a command to the stage, bring the house down, and it's just good old rock and roll. It's just an overall a great time. I did this interview at the end of their Beer Vikings tour, so you'll hear about that. There's going to be a lot of loudness in the start of the podcast. I think there's even a motorcycle taking off behind us, and there was a fan that stood outside with us doing the interview, and we finally kind of invited him in. Actually, Buddy did. So he's on the podcast for a few seconds as well. We also get to hear about the 50 Shotgun Challenge. Did T-Sweat, did Tyler, did he make it? The Beer Viking himself, did he get the 50 Shotgun Challenge win, or didn't he? You'll hear it on the podcast today. Also, you'll hear about some equipment and some upcoming material for their new releases. And Great Electric Quest is going out on tour again in early 2018. So look out for that. All right, I think we've said enough here. Let's get it on. Let's do it. Let's go to the interview with the Great Electric Quest. Here we are again on location at the Yucca Tap Room in Tempe, Arizona, and with me I have members of the Great Electric Quest.
The pretty good Electric Quest.
The
changing the name.
Greatest.
Just changing. Just changing it.
Growing, mediocre, maximizing journey of a band.
While I have you both here, and we have some other additions here, can you take the mic around and introduce yourselves?
We got a creeper over here.
I'm not in the band. I'm just a huge dick.
I was going to say that. Hey, over here we got the real Jerry Bliss. He's a dick.
Hi, how are ya?
He plays bass. Mr. Jerry Bliss, king of beers. Not drinking tonight. But the real king of beers, the Beer Viking himself of the Beer Viking tour, Buddy Donner. No, just kidding. 50 Shotguns. How's it feel?
Yeah, it was a 50 Shotgun tour.
So you made it.
Made it tonight. Had a shotgun on stage, and yeah, it was close, but we made it happen. My name's Tyler. I sing for Great Electric Quest. We got Buddy over here, guitarist, aka Shredder Man.
The Riff Beast.
Yeah, I got MVP 4 times this tour. It was fucking great. It was a good tour.
It's a good belt.
The belt is cool. The real MVP goes to Alex, our driver.
Yeah.
Alex Alcaraz.
Is he up? Is he awake?
He's up. Yeah, he's up. He's ready to drive us 6 hours home.
He's wearing that Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah, he looks like Indiana Jones. Dr. Jones.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, my God. All right, we got another
He's up and
lurker.
around. Oh, here
we go. Mucho Drums.
Saying bye to everybody like I'm not going to see him again.
Drums, introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. My name is Mucho Drums, and I play drums in Great Electric Quest.
Crazy sick drumming.
Thank you, brother, so much, man.
He almost got MVP once this tour. Almost once.
So did anybody else join on the Shotgun Express over here?
We had some contributions from Jerry, myself,
A bunch of homies all across
homies
the
on the
country.
road.
Yeah.
You see, it's not real fun to shotgun by yourself, so we try to help out our front man and dear friend.
They call the lonely shotgun alcoholism, but if you do it with people, it's a party. It's a party.
It's a party.
You're all right. So yeah, we got all the boys here, and it's been a great tour. We went all the way up to Minnesota where there was fucking snow,
Right.
and coming back here to AZ, and the temperatures have been pretty mild, which is great because our air conditioner and our bus is broken.
But our heater works phenomenal. One might even call it incredible.
And our heater is not Jerry's butthole, which works frequently. But Yeah, yes, it is working.
So I gotta
well.
tell you guys, man. I've seen you a few times. I see you at the shows. One thing that I'm always impressed with is that you're always checking out the other bands. You're right in the front, banging your head just like anybody else.
Yeah, you got a mothership shirt on. You know what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's one of the best things about being on the road is seeing all the great bands all across the country.
Right.
And, you know, it's just like all those people that go out to the shows on, you know, Wednesday, fucking Thursday nights, Tuesday nights, and, you know, they go to work happy and hungover, and we enjoy the same thing, going out to the shows and enjoying the great fucking rock and roll that this country has to offer. We get to see it up front, like you said, and it's something we really enjoy.
Now, I know you're enjoying the tour. I know you're at the end of it right now. You guys seem like road dogs. I saw you way back in March, and you are still out here. So I want to talk about something that happened to you guys, and it really sucks because I've seen this and heard this happening with other bands. You had some stuff stolen. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. San Jose is where it went down, and like you said, you see it happen to so many bands. Luckily, we didn't get hit too hard, but we had a bunch of the camera equipment stolen.
It wasn't us that got hit. It was more like our friends, you know. We had two
Right.
buddies that went with us, and they got their backpacks stolen on that.
Yeah, we basically had like the biggest show of our career. We've been a band for like 7 or 8 years, and we have one homie that really backs us like
Right.
big time. And we got this one gig, and we were like, "Fuck, this is like our biggest opportunity probably that we have."
Right.
And he's like, "I'm gonna grab every camera that I have and basically set up the whole stage and make like the sickest footage that I can get." So he brought everything, all of his like highest quality cameras, and we got robbed the fucking night before the gig. Like. Yeah, it was brutal. So he lost everything. Everybody lost a little bit of stuff, but he lost a ton of stuff, man. And he was there just to back us up. So it was brutal, man.
Do you find that happening to other bands as well?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, we all were like, well, fuck, you know, it's gonna happen to us eventually because that's what we do. We're on the road. Look at this parking lot we're in right now, dude.
Yeah.
This is what we do every single night. So
Right.
we do our best.
Gotta chalk it up to the game at some point.
We do our best to have somebody watching the van all the time. I'm always upgrading the security and like fucking doing every little bit that we can. Like we got tracker devices and everything, dude. But
So
it's unstoppable.
Try
dude.
it, thieves. We'll
Yeah.
find you.
we'll find you.
You would think that Jerry's, you know, extremely pungent farts would, you know, keep him away.
That was our highest security for a while, but
is he officially the worst farter of the group?
officially,
That's the
yes.
one thing that's clear.
That's
one
It's
thing clear
distinct.
in our future.
is it an audible, or are you?
It's the food they feed me. We go to diners every fucking day. And we called it the diner tour for a while because, god damn it, you know.
There's a lot of good diners out in America. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of good diners out there.
But you know, as far as the robberies go, you see it obviously way too often. But once again, what's always something that's fantastic is how much.
Even when we got robbed, there was like 5 other cars that got robbed at the same time. You know, you're just at the wrong place at the wrong time sometimes.
But the homies around the country, you know, like on social, you know, networks and stuff, they're always there and are willing to give you contributions, get back on your feet and stuff. And
Yeah.
that's something that we all appreciate as musicians so much.
We got $1,300
That's killer.
back to us just from friends just pitching in to help us out from that, you know.
And
That's incredible, you know?
that is the true friendship of this genre of music that I've seen.
We love everybody, man. Like all of you guys backing us. Just anybody getting off the couch and just coming out to a show is enough. But to fucking pour out like $250 from fucking John Jewett, dude, is like insane, man. Like he already puts us up every time we tour through. He feeds us. He gets us burgers, barbecue, everything. Not to mention he'll jam with us, everything, man.
Right.
Absolutely, what keeps the rock and roll world going. You know, they don't play this shit on the radio right now, and it's just every single listener and every single person that's listening to rock and roll day in and day out contributing towards you know, this art form staying alive, man. It really is.
So, and speaking of, while you're saying that, what do you think? You think down the road, like somebody like Sirius XM satellite radio, do you think they're going to have a station just dedicated to this style?
They have to. This thing's growing, you know.
Yeah.
We meet the more we're touring, the more people we find that are into this kind of music, and into this, like, you know, lifestyle where it's like real. You truly enjoy playing this kind of music. You truly enjoy playing in front of people, and making getting them off. They're coming out here to have a good time.
Right.
The booze does help, totally.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're up there and you see everyone fucking having a good time, smiling, afterwards you get to fucking talk to cool ass people like yourself. That's what it's all about. So how can you fucking ignore that? There's no way you can ignore that.
Well, with the positive, let me ask you about maybe and I want to go into a little bit of recording, but what would you say is one of the biggest burdens, or some of the few of the biggest burdens being on the road?
Biggest burdens. Yeah, trying to find the best place to take a shit.
Speaking of,
which isn't the worst thing. The road is the best, man. Put us on the road for life.
One-ply toilet paper. Sons of
tap room.
bitches.
Thumbs up for sure.
Never enough baby wipes.
I highly suggest Tux pads. They're the bomb.
Maxi pads? Tyler's got plenty of those.
Well, you got me that deluxe pack for Christmas, so thank you.
Jerry really hates the diners and touring, so that's
Right.
that's a big negative right there.
And you hate it afterward. Straight up.
That's in all of us.
No, there's no burden for being on the road for us. Honestly, this is what we want to do with our whole lives. So, I mean, there's no burden on the road.
Small setback.
Small setback.
Yeah, there's no burden on the road. We're very happy to be on the road all the time, and it's just a blessing to be on the road playing.
We're gonna feel more accomplished once we get through this uphill battle.
And
that's the thing.
You know what? Interesting idea, because I'm curious, what so far to date has been your biggest achievement as a band?
Not slaughtering each other in our sleep.
Well, we do wrestle and fight in the bus sometimes.
Sure.
That was one time we were in San Jose, and Jerry farted, and we all made it out alive out of the bus. I didn't think it was gonna happen, but barely.
No, I mean, maybe the biggest achievement is just getting to get closer, as people and accept each other as family members. When you live in such close quarters, it can get a little heated sometimes.
Sure.
But all in all, you love each other and you grow as people, and your music grows together. And we got a fucking real tight bunch that is ready to create some magic. So hopefully there's some people out there that want to listen.
You do it as a family.
Yeah, totally, man. But the word achievement, I don't know, it kind of doesn't really make sense, because it's more about the people that grab us and pull us to the next level.
Okay.
So achievements for us is getting through what you were trying to pull out of us right now. It's
Right.
what sucks on the road. It's those are the achievements for us, the small things.
Right on.
But an achievement for a band is really just the one random dude that fucking grabs you and books you with High on Fire, or puts you on Psycho Las Vegas, or puts you on giant shows like that, because they have faith in you. They feel like you have something to offer. So
Now, I didn't get to go to Psycho Las Vegas. Give me a little insight to it. Everything that I've seen on social media, it's huge. And people have to see that size of a crowd. There is a demand for this.
Oh, yeah.
You got to go. That's the fucking first thing about Psycho Las Vegas. You just have to go to experience it. It's like that show, that great show, like a show tonight. Awesome Bill.
Right.
But you get to experience that for 4 days straight. And you get, people take over the Hard Rock Hotel. We actually...
Yeah, you can't walk 5 steps in that place without saying, "Hey, what's up?" and "Hey, come drink a beer." Hey,
Did stock and PBR actually go up after that show?
I think it did. Did you buy some?
stock and everything that matters went up after that fucking show, for sure, dude.
Yeah, you got to go. That's all there is to it. Psycho Las Vegas is an incredible experience, and you just need to put it on a credit card, get the fuck out there, because it's one of those things you remember for the rest of your life, man.
Yeah, it sounds like a crazy time.
It's just great, man. You can't, like Jerry was saying, you can't walk around without seeing a friendly face and getting a handshake and a hug and a beer to drink, and everybody's partying together. We actually got a tour of the memorabilia room
Right.
from the guy that curates all the memorabilia for all the Hard Rocks, and he was telling us personally, he's like, if you guys come back into town, just hit me up, we'll take care of you. He's like, we want everybody that plays rock and roll coming to the Hard Rock in Las Vegas. I want this place to be like it was in the 90s, and to get that kind of reaction from someone like him is like, man, he loves rock and roll.
It's
He
really
wants people
satisfying.
fucking there, man.
Yeah.
That was the realest fucking thing of the whole deal, dude. It was crazy. I believe his name was Biff, but he's a real fucking dude. That guy was incredible, man. Our bus broke down. We were in the parking lot. He grabbed us after the gig, and he was like, "Dude, you got time to kill? I heard about your shit. Come check this out." He brought us into this mysterious room of everything that we fucking love, that we're so passionate about our whole lives,
We saw a lot of things. We saw.
Jerry got to put on the fucking November Rain jacket.
Axl Rose.
November Rain jackets, all kinds of Johnny Cash guitars,
and fucking outfit, dude. Fucking.
And then we got to see the plaster caster Jimi Hendrix penis.
Yep.
So there it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, aim high.
The whole shit.
There it was, man. The whole thing.
Let me ask you a question about.
Kind of like this microphone.
Your-
Out of my face.
I'm gonna remind you of something else. When you're on stage, you guys have an obvious presence, and it seems like, to me like you put a lot of work and a lot of effort into
50 shotguns.
You put a lot of work and a lot of effort into your stage presence as well as your merchandise. How important is the stage presence to give to the fans, and how important is it to you?
Well, I mean, Buddy and I, we've talked about this from the very beginning, man. It's about, you know, the whole show, you know. It's just not about playing the instruments, you know, perfect and all that, but it's just fucking putting it all out there, you know, and just giving it all you got and partying with the crowd and yeah, it means a lot, man. We're just all there because we fucking love doing this shit,
right?
Just like everybody in the audience. So when that energy's in the audience, it definitely translates on stage, and I guess that's where it comes from. Is just that, you know, that feeling that comes from the audience and growing up watching amazing shows.
You don't really see too much stage presence anymore with bands.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people just, you know, they stand up there, play great, but not a lot of moving around, rocking out, having, you know, flags on stage and, you know, pyrotechnics.
Embarrassing themselves.
Well,
On purpose.
It depends on the person also too, you know.
Sure.
Because there's plenty of musicians out there that, you know, they don't rock out on stage or they don't do that, but they're just very good musicians.
Right.
That even that alone, you know, inspires other people and fucking.
That alone,
You know,
is
just-
stage presence too. You know, sometimes being
You know?
still can be stage presence. You know, it's all different
Like
moves.
plain
Yeah.
and simple, you just have to be real about it and be honest about it. You know, you can't just go up there and say you're gonna be a clown or something. And,
Sure.
You know what I mean? You have to actually practice your, you know, your craft. what
Your
you're trying
craft,
to do.
yeah.
You know, that's something that other people like. You know, a lot of people appreciate.
now I have to ask: is there a name for the mask?
Yeah, it's the Anubis. It's a song off the new album, actually. But yeah, my wife, who runs the merch, Karube, she made that mask.
All right.
It's the Anubis mask.
100%, yeah. We're, you know, things like the mask or, you know, the flag, like all that shit. We're just trying to have as much fun as possible, and as long as we're having fun up on stage with each other,
Right.
Feel like that's something that, you know, kind of translates to the crowd. You know, and it comes out in the merch too. You know, we got a really cool Anubis graphic coming out from Mike Calhoun over in Texas. You know, these experiences, they don't end. They just get bigger and broader, and that's part of what's so special about playing rock and roll and being a traveling musician is you just get to be like part of this gigantic ball of energy that's ever growing, and it creates more art, it creates more you know, more music, more inspiration, and it's fucking great thing to be part of. So.
And speaking of some of the things that you do on stage and some of I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your equipment. I know that you had added something for vocal. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I got a TC Helicon.
Because it really changes your sound.
Yeah, I got it because of Sean Peck from Cage. He's like a super power metal singer,
Right.
And
Probably rides motorcycles.
Don't mind the motorcycle. That'll be gone in a minute.
That was Jerry's butt.
but yeah, it's a really useful tool when you're traveling around, and you can just have, as a vocalist, you know, just have like a home bass kind of mix, and then I have a punch in for some of the higher, like, you know, Rob Halford kind of shit.
I was just gonna say, I heard a little Halford tonight.
That's always a great thing to hear, man. I fucking love Rob Halford.
And if we can go around, could you just tell me a little bit about your equipment and what you're using and why you like it?
Jerry, skin flute.
Oh yeah. My equipment breaks all the time. I have had 3 bass rigs in my year and a half in this band.
Yeah, Jerry gets real fucking lucky. He's worked about 15 years at a music shop, but he can't quite find a bass rig that'll work for him. Luckily, the last tour we played the Dead Horse, and the owner Rex hooking him up with a bass head that lasted the rest of the tour for us, which was amazing. The Dead Horse is one of the best venues out there. And that was the Trace Elliott head. That was a fucking great head. So we bought the same one, which lasted again for a while. But it died last night in Albuquerque. But yeah, Jerry's a good guy. You know, he does all right. But probably the best piece of my gear is the orange PPC 412. Last year we played Psycho Vegas, and I plugged my head that I've had pretty much my whole life that I always count on. I got like a tube head and a bunch of different tube heads and tried them all out, and I always go back to my solid state that just has that distortion tone that I love.
Right.
But I plugged it in to the backline, the PPC 412 orange cab backline at Psycho Vegas, and I was like, holy shit, like my head has never sounded like this instantly. So when I got home, I bought that cab, and ever since then, everybody's like, damn, dude, that orange sounds amazing. And I'm like, yeah, this is the cab, you know.
It brought it to the next level.
Yeah, it brightens everything up. It brings out all the tones. It's super thick. But yeah, Mucho's got the real goods.
The real good.
The real goods. Let's hear about it. Mucho, Peisty, Ludwig, drums.
Well, definitely, I freaking, like, you know, millions of other drummers out there. I love John Bonham.
Right.
So, you know, right off the bat, I already knew I wanted to get a Ludwig.
How did you get your Ludwig set there, Mucho?
I used
this story.
I used to play in this band. Yeah, I used to play in this band called Boost with these two Japanese sisters, Mayuko and Tatsumi, and you know, they really like showed me a lot about music and you know, appreciating and everything, and they told me the same thing is, you know, your equipment is just as good as how you are too. You know, you buy good gear, you sound even better.
Right.
So, yeah, I totally got a Sam Ash card, blasted it, bought a freaking, just fucking maxed it out.
It was on fire by the time you're done.
Oh God, the same day I got it, and you know, blasted it. Got a 7-ply Ludwig, just like Bonham.
Is that a factory wrap?
Rewrap. You know, no, I have a Champagne Sparkle Bonham kit, basically. You know, 7-ply maple, and same thing. I love Peisty 2002s. That actually, I went to a Guitar Center and blasted that card right away too. I just got everything, you know, just got everything that I ever wanted, and it's been the best decision I ever made in my whole life.
Every time you guys come through on every tour, it seems like there's a different, on your bass drum, you've got a different photo. How does that happen?
I actually do printing, you know, when I'm not playing drums.
Right.
Which is both fun, but definitely drums are better. But
so you're asking maybe some other drummers can
definitely any drummers
hook up with you and
yeah, totally. If any drummer, you know, it's a lightweight fabric that, you know, wraps around your bass drum head, so it's not permanent. You know, if you have a tour coming up, if you have an album release coming up, or you just, you know, want to switch it out with whatever graphic you have, I can definitely, you know, digitally print it, mail it out across the United States.
And how can they reach you?
All they need to do is I'm on Instagram, Mucho Drums. Actually, you can just.
It means Great Electric Quest.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Great Electric Quest. But for the drum raps, you can just Google search just Mucho Drums.
He means Great Electric Quest.
And in keep in line with music, you're starting a record label.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Absolutely, yeah. Glory or Death Records, man, from humble beginnings. Actually, the whole name was created from our first tour that we started like 3 years ago or so with Red Wizard that played tonight.
Sure.
Yeah, that was the first Glory or Death tour, and the attitude behind it was like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we're gonna do it, and it's Glory or Death, you know, like
just start it.
Yeah, just
figure it out.
Just hit it, and then you know, we had so many bands that we played with. Like tonight, we were talking about so many great bands, and you can't even get like a CD sometimes to go home with, and that's really what created us wanting to create Glory or Death Records, was just, you know, being able to help out some bands to have some material that would be available, and it's kind of grown quite a bit. I'll let Bud kind of here say some stuff.
Also, is it going to give you some more ownership?
Well, we own the record label,
so it's going to be different than going through like a record distributor because it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, creating your own record label is something that I think people do for a lot of different reasons. But honestly, ours was about trying to get other people's music out a little bit more than our own. But record contracts can be a fickle situation. But you just got to figure out. I mean, we're about to sign one here pretty soon, so we just got to make sure that we're given what we want to and we're getting what we want out of it.
Sure.
But Glory or Death's coming along, and we got that Thin Lizzy compilation that's going to be coming out, which has really been a gigantic launch for the label.
Right. Buddy?
Yeah, definitely, man. I was just going to say, it goes back to just touring around and discovering these bands that are just like, have no fucking idea what to do with themselves, and they're incredible.
Right. Okay.
Incredible. And, yeah, you just
the
like...
Roast album. The Roast album's incredible.
Yeah, and you're just like, man, all right, well, I know what to do from your point to bring you to our point. So that's what Glory or Death is about. Like, bring bands from the lower spectrum that deserve to be fucking in front of millions of people and bring them to where we can put them and beyond where we're at, if that's capable. But for us, like personally, for the band Great Electric Quest, the label, I mean, maybe in like 10 years we'll have a following that's like worthy of doing something for us. But right now we're still fishing our own pole, doing our own thing.
Right. And so who are you looking at right now, or what are you listening to right now that you're like, this is new, it's fresh?
For the label?
For the label, or just in general?
I mean, for Glory or Death, like I said, man, it's just on the road. You see bands. Like, I mean, we're a super small label. Right now we're just doing the Thin Lizzy thing, trying to wrap that up, which we have. It's pretty much done. There's a ton of bands involved, like High on Fire, Isaiah Mitchell from Earthless. There's Duel. There's so many bands. Wofat. Like, we're just working on getting that wrapped up. But
I have to say,
Doesn't know which
the Juarez Incredible Rockers, Diz Brew and Molly Yetterba. I've been wanting to get something together with those guys. Yeah, hopefully that comes out through a Glory or Death thing, because those guys are incredible, and they're excited about it. But those bands from Juarez, man, they're amazing.
They're bringing it.
Yeah, they're incredible. And I want to put it out as a split and just call it Mucho Gusto, Juarez. So it'd be a cool thing.
And speaking of a split, you guys just did a split with Lords of Beacon House.
Yeah, the Super Groovers, Lords of Beacon House from Long Beach. They've got a game plan to come out with some releases, but we put out the split through Glory or Death Records. It's got 2 songs on it from Lords of Beacon, and then we have an Iron Maiden cover on there, Murders in the Rue Morgue, which I think came out pretty sweet. And then we have a previously unreleased song, Ruling This World, which is a pretty classic heavy metal song. So if you like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, you might be into that. I don't know.
Get down.
So if you
Cuando veo cool summer.
if you had to start your band now, what would you do differently?
I would definitely say step 1, fucking record. Step 2, play shows. That would be the move, not fucking, jam. Don't play too much in your own town, Your friends don't want to watch you play every fucking 3 days.
Start
That's for
expanding.
sure.
Definitely
Take it slower. It's all about recording and, having something. If you're a band and you play music, like, people want to hear music. They don't want to just look at you and be like, oh, well, I've never heard them. I just see a bunch of pictures of them, and I see they play shows all the time.
Right.
Kind of the same reason we started the label is you want to be able to take that experience home with you. So if you get a group going, make sure you get some decent recordings, and then, play more shows. Like, let people have that experience that they can take home with them.
That's cool, man. Now, let's talk about movies for just a second.
Movies.
Yeah. Well,
Jerry,
first off,
movies?
we could talk
Jerry's department.
about current movies or favorite movies, but I want to know if you what soundtrack would you want to be on, or like a movie franchise would you want to be involved with?
Armageddon. Just kidding.
Armageddon.
Quentin
I don't know.
Tarantino, we're ready for your next movie.
Yeah, I was going to say Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin
We're all a huge
Tarantino.
fan.
Weird. No. We don't fit that. Quentin Tarantino's soundtracks are insane.
Quentin Tarantino, we fit in perfect, thank you.
No, I'm down to hang out, but no.
Tyler's got a real nasty foot that you might like. I hear he's got a foot fetish.
I mean, unless it's a real fucking twist, but I've seen these twists. It's not gnarly. No.
What's the longest song?
His new movie's gonna be about the Manson. You don't think we would fit in with the Manson movie?
We're fitting in. We're gonna be in actually independent film in a, what is it called? Old New Love.
Okay.
It's pretty much the biggest blockbuster that's ever come out of low budget films. You'll see it soon.
It's going to break records like past Titanic.
No, it's not. You'll probably never see it. But where Beers and Hell is in the background in a bar scene, so that's cool. But yeah, we'd be totally down. I mean, they got that ride show. A bunch of rock and rollers are being part of now. So that kind of, it's just a matter of time. Kind of, I think if you're playing out there and you're putting out good stuff, where those multimedias kind of
Right.
come together. But if you need some quotes, Jerry's got them. He's great at movie quotes.
Call him out.
Great at movie quotes.
Yeah, give him a movie.
I'm not drunk, so
All right,
that's
all right.
my fuel.
Let's go with the Tarantino. Let's go Pulp Fiction.
Tommy Wong.
Tommy Wong.
Tommy. That's actually Reservoir Dogs, right?
Whose motorcycle?
Who's Where'd you get the bike? It's not a bike, baby. It's a chopper. Where'd you get the chopper? From Zed. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby.
Zed's dead.
I like the pot belly.
So now that you
One
guys
blueberry pancakes.
have come through the basic year of touring, and you've got Chapter 2 coming out. Oh yeah. What can you tell me? Like, what's going on? Is there you adding something different? Is there what do we expect from Chapter 2?
We're covering the bases on this one.
Right.
Chapter 2 is a whole different ballgame, man. Honestly, it was written with our group here, our new rhythm section. You look forward to more cohesion and better production. We're really excited about it, man. I don't know. Mucho's first album, full LP that he's been on, he's definitely featured in there. I don't know. I'm excited about it, bud.
Yeah, I was just way more relaxed on this one. We spent a lot more time getting away from our jobs and spending like unlimited hours in our studio, which Gloria Death Studios,
Right.
which we own, and just hanging out there. We call them campouts. We make like crock pots of food and fucking just hang out. Don't worry about any kind of things in life that would deter you from your artistic creation, So
Just
we
let it expand.
Yeah, we just
and let it go.
fully fucking hang out, watch movies, which is where the movie quotes come from. But yeah, we just jam out, man, and
Let me see your little finger over there.
we just let things expand, And that's how Chapter 2 all came about, man. It all just unfurled over like a couple of weekends of these campouts that we had, And it's just we all had ideas and we just let them grow,
Now you played some new material in the set tonight, which I've also heard on last tour. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because it seems like it's a pretty important song for you.
Well, new material-wise, I mean, Great Electric Quest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of how I try to introduce the song, I guess, is that it's something that means a lot to us. Hopefully one day it'll mean something to you, and
Right.
just kind of try to be honest about it, because it's a slower song, and, we'll jam some shit out, we'll shred some shit out, and then kind of bring it down. And it's just I don't know, it's a serious song. It's about humanity. That's really what the second album really kind of circles around. It's called Of Earth, which is kind of where we spend most of our time, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
So
have you been to the parallel universe? I hear it's fantastic.
We have a fucking gig on the moon, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but Heart of the Sun, man, I don't know. It was just the way the lyrics came out was kind of crazy. It was just I had a lot of pressure on me to get the lyrics done, and Buddy's like, I need to get these vocal melodies in here so I can write the solo.
Right.
And it was kind of going crazy. I was going insane about it. And I just had the mix on my radio, like coming home from work, and I recorded some vocal melodies, and it just all kind of came out. And it was just like this combination of all the song lyrics that had previously been written for the rest of the album, like
Right.
kind of what's going on with our world and like the destruction and all of these crazy disasters that are happening. And it kind of just came all out in like one, like just, I don't know, verbal like puke all over the place. But it ended up being something that was really, really heartfelt and it's a special piece of art for all of us. I think Jerry had some time with that song as well, and I think it really touched him as well.
Yeah.
He's a man of so many words. So, in truly listening to the music, your lyrics, who writes the majority of the lyrics?
Well, I've been, a lyricist since I was 17, so they kind of, that's my responsibility in the band. Mucho is obviously, drum master. We got Buddy shredding things up. Jerry's got all kinds of incredible. Yes, his butt trumpet's incredible, but he's got an amazing amount of musical talent that I would never be able to, even hold a candle to. But as far as the lyrics go, just the way that words come together and phrasing and trying to create ideas that can be digested by multiple people. It's actually helped me out in my professional life too. I'm like helping to write scripts in the professional world, and that's it's just kind of a crazy thing how you can translate your art into the professional world. Like we infiltrate real jobs all the time, in the corporate world, and we're out here, struggling to keep jobs and be on the road doing what we want to do. But you can always translate your art into the professional world, and it doesn't necessarily mean like you have to be in a cover band,
right?
But you can use your skill sets, So just writing the stories, it's Great Electric Quest. So there's different characters, like Madam Elbib is a large character from our first album, which actually Madam Elbib is supposed to be read like forward and backwards, kind of like a palindrome, but backwards it would say like Bible Madam, because it's kind of a story of preconceived judgment. So we might, look like a bunch of, party animals just fucking whipping hair around and sweat and beer, but there's a lot of thought that goes into it too,
You can tell, and you can see it in the lyrics, you can hear it in the way it's written. And you could hear it. You could see it in the performance. There's no question,
it, brother.
Now, when you start creating, do lyrics come first, or does the music come first? Do you catch a riff? You get a drum beat? How does it start?
Definitely, usually the music.
Right.
It starts. And just like Buddy was saying, we have these campouts where there's no pressure on anybody. Something comes up, something sounds cool, or even just a accidental riff comes up.
Right.
We can build off that.
Sure.
And it could go any direction that you want it to go. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, at the very end, we all work together to try to just, get a foundation for the song. And Tyler is really good at coming up with melodies. So, usually right off the bat, that's why we all jam out together. Because even if we're trying to write music, if we write the music first, it's usually around the same time that, Tyler could come up with some melody, and then base his lyrics off that, But we all help out sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't sound good, whether it's the drums or guitar, bass, vocals, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But as long as, we're all on the same page of where we want to go, the song at the very end, we're all very pleased with.
Good.
Yeah, it's definitely, everybody contributes to all of the songs on the album. That's one of the best parts about being in the band. I mean, Jerry, you talk about that, right?
About what?
He's around. He's kind of there.
No, just about the songwriting process, man. Cheers, man.
Hey, you guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
For like a half an hour. My name's Marie, and these guys seem awesome. I just bought some merch from them so I could see them again.
It's 3 a.m. Bar's been closed for 2 hours.
Yep. Yes, sir. I wish I was here instead of playing pool to see you guys.
Dude.
Fuck yeah, thank you.
No worries, man.
We'll be back, man. Thank you very much, man. Fuck yeah, get some.
Yeah.
Have a good night, brother, all right? Take it easy, man.
Thanks, guys.
You can't get a better review than that from a guy hanging out in 3 a.m. and just.
Yeah, he's been standing there for this whole interview for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to say.
Thanks, brother.
But hey, you know what? He's interested in you guys, and there's got to be a reason for it. There's got to be a reason. So, is there I figured I'd just kind of wind this up quickly, but I do have a question. I always ask the band I'm interviewing, is there a question that you have for the next people that I interview? And then I have to ask you the question that was
Given by the previous band.
given by the previous band.
Jerry, you got a question?
What did the Red Wizards say for us?
Okay, well,
That's your question to the next band? Is what
there were
Red
two
Wizards said?
questions. The first was, something that you kind of brought up earlier. Where was the worst place that you took a shit?
Fuck, Lost Well, fucking Austin, Texas. Jesus fucking Christ. But I love the fucking place.
Thanks, Dusty.
Love you, Dusty. Your bathroom's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, pretty fucking. You had to sit sideways and shit on that.
Yeah, that's one of those places where the urinals are a bunch of ice cubes. You know, there's just ice cubes in there. But all these fucking badass bands play there, and you put your sticker in the urinal, and you know you piss on your favorite band's sticker, and it's a great thing.
Wow,
Yeah,
a boy can dream.
Yeah, you can get there. You can get there. Put your sticker in at the Lost Well.
I got a question for the next band.
What's the question for the next band, Mucho?
Is there any doubt in your mind that you're meant to do that, to play music?
Good question.
Any doubt?
Mucho is, and that's a great question. Is there any doubt in your mind that you know that you're doing what you want to do, right? Something like that. But Mucho's super gnarly.
I'll go for 2. Go.
He's going for 2.
Are you really trying your best?
Ooh.
Are you really giving 100%?
Or if somebody says, "Don't do your best, do my best."
Ooh, God damn it, that's good. I'm gonna take that too.
You gotta understand, Mucho is a fucking animal.
Yeah.
All right, and he's out there running in fucking ice cold weather, trying to get us to all run. You know, I use the 50 shotguns beer chugs on this tour to stay away from exercise.
Right.
But he's out there fucking running around, seeing cool ass things that I don't get to see. He's doing push-ups. He's doing pull-ups. I try to catch a lot of Z's.
And you do a lot of 12-ounce curls. So
Yeah, see, my 12-ounce curl game is good. But he's got this note on his wall.
Right.
It's like in Sharpie. And it says like, you know, did you do your best today? You know, all these things, you know, try to be honest. I can't remember them all. You know, did you jerk off 3 times? No, that's not in there. But
then you're 1 time short. Yeah.
no, he really does have this shit on his wall though. So seeing his kind of dedication definitely, I think, brings all of our game up a notch.
Hey, it's positive affirmation, and you know, like you say, with being with other bands, you know, it's high tide raises all ships. It's pretty damn simple.
High tide raises all ship. Are you the high tide? I think you're more like the red tide.
He's a running tide.
I'm a stone skipping across a frozen lake.
I know him.
Star Wars sound.
I'm avoiding my girlfriend on the red tide. And now the other question was, like it's kind of tour bus based. What was the worst either accident or problem that you have had?
I'll take this one. We did a tour in June, and it was to Texas and pretty much the East Coast.
Louisiana.
And we had no air conditioning, and it was
It broke the first day.
yeah.
Very first day
It
of the
was
tour.
the coolest was like 100, and then the hottest was 119, which was actually right here in Tempe on the way back.
Yep.
And we had to drive a half hour to get here with the windows down, and just breathing in through your nose or your mouth was just burning. It hurt.
Was that the last night of that tour?
Yeah.
When you came in here? Mm-hmm. I remember that day. You guys came in and it was like that, and just like, oh God, we're so exhausted.
We were at Nick's house, luckily, which basically every time we come into Arizona, we hit up Nick and we're like, dude, we're coming into town. Can we come to your house? Because we don't know what the fuck to do. Like, it's going to be hot as shit. So luckily we were at his house, but we were hanging out, like showering, trying to get all the grime off of us from riding into town. And you hear on the radio, the fucking airport's closed because airplane tires are melting when they touch the asphalt.
Welcome to Arizona.
Yeah, no shit, yeah.
Honestly, the heat, just being like on the road 2 weeks straight, no air conditioning.
Can't sleep.
You can't sleep. You can't fucking exist. All of us were getting at each other's throats. New Orleans was gnarly. I had like ice in my armpits, just trying to like survive. And
Yeah, we were.
Try to stay cool.
no, it was really not. It was really.
It was brutal. Yeah, we were
fucking
stabbing
brutal,
holes
man.
in the top of water bottles and just spraying everything and everybody with them.
We did
Dying.
get smart, and we went to Walmart and got ice and water and put it in those like fan squirters.
Yeah.
And that was a game changer. So that's why I'm still alive right now.
So now basically you have to invent something for the broken down tour bus or the
Yeah,
no
the-
AC tour bus, maybe like a cooling vest.
It's a hillbilly air conditioner, yeah.
Yeah, we tried we were looking at all kinds of things. We just got to get it fixed, you know.
Everything for us is step one, man. We're learning all the time, but you know.
Yeah, it's always an experience. And that honestly, I was probably the most, how would you say it, being a pussy on the road in that heat. I got the flu and heat sickness, but going through those kinds of things, you know, and you know, not bailing on it is what shows us that we have what it takes to do whatever the fuck we need to do to get wherever we need to go, you know. And, you know, we're going to show up. We're going to fucking put it all out on stage, and we're going to have a good time with everyone that's there.
Well, from seeing you guys on that tour and some previous tours, you don't show any of it. You come out, you always put on a killer performance. You're some of the nicest guys that I've ever met, and I'm so honored and just blessed that I get the chance to interview you and just to talk to you for a little bit.
Absolutely, brother. Right now, it's 3:13 a.m. You're standing on the fucking sidewalk in front of Yucca Tap Room, and I know you fucking go to every single show that fucking happens in this town, dude. So, fuck us, dude. You're the man.
Yeah, you're the man.
Seriously, you're standing here wearing a Mothership shirt that you obviously bought from them to fucking hook them up with some gas money, man. You're here. You bought our merch. You're putting us on the radio waves just to help us out even more. So thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
You're the man.
Thank you very much. And is there anything else you guys want to say before we close out?
How do we find everything about you, man? What are we on right now? How do we find you? How do we share with our fans?
Well, this is Doom Tomb Podcast. I'm on social media everywhere, but I really want to know about you guys. How can people find you?
Well, there's a quote that Dio told to Dave Mustaine one time, and it was, well, you know, we can jerk each other off all day, or we can smoke this joint.
Oh, right on.
The links will be in the,
In the bio.
Yeah, just fucking Google whatever the fuck you want. Great Electric Quest. We'll be out there.
No, we're done. I nailed it.
And Quest out. Thank you.
Quest out. Thanks so much, guys. that was the Great Electric Quest. I tell you, they are an incredible bunch of guys. They are so nice and so generous with their time. They're the top. I really dig them, and I will watch them, and I will support them and go to any show anytime that they're in my area. Next week, we have a band called OFA, otherwise known as Old Fashioned Assassin. And they have a release coming out really, really soon. Hopefully, we'll get to have some new material for the podcast as a release or a pre-release, so you can get an idea of what they're about. And then you can also get them on social media. Just start following them on the different platforms. That way, when they do have the release, you can snatch that up real quick. All right, I guess that's it for me. So until next week, have a great one. Keep going to the shows. Support your local scene. And support the touring bands. And buy some merch every once in a while. It can't hurt you. Thanks a bunch, and we'll talk to you soon.